Hi, I'm Lindsay, and today I am ready to talk about Sakamoto Days again because the manga is popping off right now and I need to do a review. I think I'm going to start doing a bi-weekly chapter review covering 2 chapters or 1 chapter. We'll see how it goes, but today I'm going to start with reviewing chapter 149 and 150, which did come out in December. Yes, I'm a little late. We're not gonna talk about it. I'm ready. I need to talk about it because the day that I fear has arrived. So copyright strike be damned. I'm talking about this series. Yes. So if you did not know, I did make a video in the past about Nagumo, just a bit of a character deep dive on him. And it was taken down, unfortunately. I got my only copyright strike on this channel. So if you don't mind, I'm going to have to censor panels a bit more than I was before because I wasn't. And be more cautious, okay? So this is going to be more of seeing my face. I hope that's all right. I don't expect these chapter reviews to be doing nearly as well as JJK stuff, reaction stuff. I don't expect it to, but I love this manga, and by golly, I need to talk about it. So I'm doing it. I'm just going for it anyways. All right, so let's just do it. So the day I fear has arrived. I really want to talk about this because my 2 favorite characters in the series are fighting right now. And I was worried it was going to happen, and I don't know how I feel about it. So let's go. So look, as per usual, the art in Sakamoto Days is always popping off. Like, it is incredible. And Suzuki's art style has like the coolest vibe to it. I'm really looking forward to the day that this gets picked up for an anime and seeing how well they can like replicate his style, because he has such a cool, like a style I can't really describe, but it's just so cool to read it. It's got like a kind of hip hop sort of vibe or something. I don't know, but ooh, it's so good. So I want to talk about this arc too because it's kind of like a Shibuya-esque JJK arc. In chapter 148 and 149, I really got hooked again. And of course, it's because the order is finally coming against Slur's group, and so much faster than I was expecting for them to show up. They're butting heads faster than I was expecting. So let's talk about 149. Got 3 pages of notes. Let's go. So now we know Toramaru is being protected by Sakamoto. And it seems like for now that Shin and Seba have successfully derailed Slur's plans for bombing of the museum. But what's interesting here is when Seba tries to communicate with Shin through telepathy, Shin doesn't hear him and says that it's actually been weirdly quiet for a while. So Shin hasn't been able to read minds for a bit, and he's in a museum full of people, so you'd think he'd be able to. So that's an interesting tidbit there. I wonder if there's something going on here, if there's some kind of device messing with it, or something to do with the museum itself. I don't think it's anything to do with Slur's group because they hadn't shown up at this point. So then unfortunately for all of us, we cut to Asaki, the chairman, and like as soon as he's told there's an assassination attempt on his life, he's like, nah, I'm out of here. And I don't care about being here for this museum. It's not worth it. The man has totally lost interest in the museum at this point, and he just flat out says that he's tired of it. And Shishiba's like, oh my god, this guy just does like whatever he wants. So then we see a JAA executive, Muto, try to convince Asaki into staying by like any means necessary. And Asaki's like, nah. And Muto's like, please stay. And Asaki's like, nah, I'm getting out. But Muto's actually a spy for Slur, and he's trying to keep Asaki there, obviously. And Muto is like, well, the doors are sealed right now because there's intruders in the museum. And Asaki's like, I don't care. I don't care if it causes public panic. Let me out. I want to go home. Saki's kind of the worst, okay? He's kind of the worst. But he's doing a good job of convincing us that he is the worst. But Asaki is persistent in leaving, and Muto starts freaking out because we see that Azuki told him his job was to keep Asaki there for as long as possible so that they can carry out their mission. So Muto is pretty much like begging Asaki at this point, and Asaki's still like, nah, I'm out of here. But you know my number one or two boy, I'm not sure. Nagumo comes to Muto's aid, and because he's figured it out, right? He knows Muto's a spy. Nagumo using that spy background there, he can sniff it out pretty quick. He's just a liar spotting a liar, really. Of course we knew Nagumo wants to keep Asaki there as well, to use him as bait for luring out Azuki to kill him. So Nagumo benefits from Asaki staying there as well. So he ends up kind of helping Muto out there. I love this series. I love series with like complicated power systems and like all these complicated things about them. But when it comes down to what I like is characters. I like their characters. And we don't have this crazy power thing going on here. We just have like, well, obviously people are strong, but we have like the dependency is on the characters, there's circumstances that lead them to make these kind of decisions, and it has to be like sly, right? Because we have that spy sort of assassin thing going on. So a lot of things have to be more discreet, and this series is really good for that. But because we know now, and I know if you've watched my Nagumo video, Nagumo is very like meticulous in his plans. And it's all like culminating in this like really tense arc. So Asaki does agree to stay and kill a bit of time as per Nagumo's suggestion to keep him there. And Muto breathes a sigh of relief because now he won't be killed by X. But of course Nagumo calls him out immediately, being like, yeah, I know you're a spy. And then he's like, is X's group gonna be here? And then bitch, right on cue, they pull up. Okay, the crew pulls up in a helicopter. We got Kumanomi, Carolina Reaper, Haruma, and my number 1 or 2 boy, Gaku. Oh my god, they look so good. The art just like pops off as soon as they show up. Like the detail is crazy. And I noticed like a change in the art as soon as the villains of this series show up. It's so amazing. The line work gets so like heavy and detailed because for time for shit to get serious. And they always really show up in style. Like I'm a huge Kumanomi fan, okay? She's done some not great things, but I really like her vibe. I like her fashion, and I think Suzuki could design a fashion line and I would eat it up. I would really like that. Once they've jumped out of the helicopter, Haruma destroys the helicopter with a shot put ball, and Kumanomi uses the fragment of the helicopter to destroy a wall in the museum, and they crash through the museum wall, and guards like attempt to shoot them, but like, come on, these guys are on another level. I mean, Kumanomi took out a member of the order already, so they are a problem. I'm not underplaying them at all. Also, love her new hand design. So the group separates and Gaku just easily tears through a group of people like he did way back on their first attempt at destroying the JAA, way back in like chapter 60 or something. And he destroys that other guy's name, whose name I don't remember right now, like so easily in that. And I'm just like obsessed with the line work with Gaku's hand. Like, I don't know why, but every time Suzuki draws Gaku, it just pops off. And he's just always serving, and just a good old serve. But then my worst nightmare happens, and the very reason why I wanted to start making chapter reviews, because my 2 favorite characters that I adore so much are about to fight. And at the end of the chapter, so Nagumo shows up to where Gaku is, and bitch, I got chills. The art is beautiful, and this is an interesting matchup because they're both adults, but they both kind of act like children a lot of the time, and there's like a childlike quality to them. Nagumo acts very childish a lot of the time, and Gaku is the youngest of X's group of terror, and he kind of acts a little childish as well. So it makes sense that these 2 would fight, but honestly, my heart can't take it. However, it'll be interesting to see. We never see Nagumo have to actually really try with fighting, and I feel somewhat confident that he would win against Gaku, but we never have seen him struggle, and bitch, Gaku is scary. So this is an interesting matchup. This is an freaking awesome chapter. Read Sakamoto Days. I don't know why you'd be watching this if you're not, but please, so good. I was scared to read the next chapter, but you know what? Here I am. So let's talk about chapter 150 next. So this chapter starts off with the news reporting on what's going on with the museum, and we see that Shin and Sakamoto's reactions to this, and Sakamoto, I mean, he knows. Like, he knows what's going on, okay? And the chapter is called Bullies. You'd think it would be about Slur's group. It's actually their group calling the order bullies. So Kumanomi is using all the metal in the building to attack people, and I'm just like quickly talking about this, but like her volume cover is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I have a very hard time disliking her despite what she's done, and she slays 24/7, and her hair always looks amazing. She's beautiful, okay? She's the moment. Haruma is just tearing through people with the damn shot put ball. And he's just like way more terrifying than I was expecting him when we first learned of his abilities. I was just kind of like, oh, but damn, like he is scary. He's smiling like the whole time. Carolina Reaper is literally breathing fire at people, burning them alive. So they are a force to be reckoned with. They are recognized as monsters here. And the three of them are like, well, where's Asaki? And Haruma's like, well, according to Muto, he's in this special collection area. And Kumonomi is like, uh-oh, I hope Gaku didn't get lost. So it's interesting that Gaku is the only one that was separated from the group. Seems sketchy, doesn't it? But bitch, next up, we get one of the coolest pages in the manga. Oh my god. It's so good. It's so good. The perspective. Oh my god, the perspective is amazing. Okay. So Shishiba, the badass he is, grabs Haruma by the neck through a wall, and we get like a bird's eye view as we go down the page, and we see Haruma going through the wall, and on one side of the wall is Kumanomi and the other side is Shishiba grabbing him. The setup, the layout for this, so fantastic. Such a cool shot. Such a cool shot. I honestly just stared at it when I read it. I was just... Oh, and also Shishiba's hair, beautiful and flowing as well. Like his hair is just gorgeous. Okay, so Shishiba attacks Haruma with a fake hammer, which of course Kumanomi uses her powers to grab, and of course he knew that would happen. So, and Haruma was like, it's a fake, so it explodes while she's holding it. And Shishiba's like, yeah, and he said this during the Yotsumura fight, I'm pretty sure, that simple weapons are the best kind of weapons. Which is very different from Nagumo, who has like a very intricate weapon system and way of choosing how he uses his weapons. So they're, once again, those two, just totally different. So Haruma manages to grab Shishiba and throw him away, and he recognizes that Haruma's strength is actually very similar to Hyo's. R.I.P. Shishiba is like, keep your damn hands off me. My clothes aren't cheap unlike y'all's. Shots fired, I mean. And Haruma's like, damn, you're mean. And Kumanomi's like, you guys are just a bunch of bullies. Hence the chapter name. So we cut to Nagumo, who is now alone with Gaku. It looks like originally Gaku was supposed to take on Takamura, which is a tall order. Get it? That he was willing to face him again after last time, and he seemed disappointed by Nagumo being there instead. Interesting that they put Gaku against Takamura. Holy shit. That's crazy. I don't know how they would expect Gaku to win against Takamura, but okay. I'm wondering if there's more to the plan there. So of course Nagumo on his usual agenda is like, is X just not here yet? And Gaku just doesn't respond because he's disappointed it's not Takamura. So Nagumo's like, well, since we're not each other's targets, let's just like pretend we didn't see each other. And Gaku's like, cool. But of course they're both lying, and as soon as they both turn to walk away, we get that panel of them starting their fight. And Nagumo obviously is a liar, and Gaku calls him out for being a liar, and Nagumo's like, well, you're a liar. Ugh, my heart. I love them both so much. Oh, I love them both so much. This is so difficult for me to like go through this. I don't know if I'm more excited or scared. I really don't know. So they call each other liars, and honestly their fight is already destructive. So I'm sure Gaku just on his own can cause so much destruction as we've seen previously, but we haven't seen totally all of what Nagumo is capable of because he usually can like one-shot anyone that he's fought so far. But he is pretty much evading Gaku's attacks, even though Gaku is able to kind of get the jump on Nagumo and get behind him pretty quickly. And also there's just like random civilians around too. So like while this is happening. So Nagumo throws like some kind of blades or something at which Gaku dodges, and that panel of him, beautiful. I love it. Nagumo is on the X agenda again and asks who's tougher, Gaku or X? And again, Gaku's just not answering. But Gaku thinks to himself that Nagumo isn't as powerful as he is, but speed-wise, they're neck and neck. So he says that he has to keep on his toes, but Nagumo is smart, okay? The thing about Nagumo is if anyone's gonna fight dirty, it's probably gonna be him. Like, he's not just gonna be an honorable fighter. He's gonna use tricks if he has to, and he's gonna do what he can. I'm not saying that it means he's weak. I'm just saying Nagumo uses his brains. He is strong, but he also is smart. So he will use a disadvantage if he can get it. But Gaku's noticed that Nagumo shifted into a higher gear, but isn't worried because of Nagumo's attacks are still visible to him. But then we see that Nagumo has thrown out one of his dies, and Gaku looks at it for like a millisecond too long. And that means he's taking his eyes off Nagumo. So Nagumo is able to throw him off and land like a crazy hit on Gaku. And then he mocks Gaku for looking away. And the last panel, Gaku looks pissed. Like, we just see his eyes, but he looks pissed. He's obviously not done in this fight. Like, I don't think he'd be taken down that easily, even though it looked like it. There's no way he's being taken down that easily. But yeah, and that's the end of chapter 150, and I'm scared. So I hope Nagumo doesn't kill Gaku. Oh god, here's what I'm hoping. I've done a deep dive on Nagumo's character, so here's what I'm hoping. Let's say Nagumo wins. He can use Gaku as a hostage to draw out Izuki, which is something that we know has worked in the past before with Izuki, who's protected Gaku from getting killed or further beaten by Asaki. And maybe that's coping for me because Gaku is one of my first character I got attached to. But I'm hoping his story doesn't end here, and it would be nice to see more of his character. I think he could be used a lot more in the story besides just being like a meat shield, basically. And Gaku is interesting. Like, I'd like to see more of him. I'm concerned for him. I don't know if he'll win this fight, but I wonder if these two will actually talk at all. And I'm curious to see how this turns out. I feel confident that I feel mostly confident that Nagumo would win this fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gaku could land some devastating blows as well. Also, I'm sort of expecting the rest of the order to show up to help out Shishiba with Kumanomi and the other two, maybe Ozaragi, but like, I don't know if Ozaragi would be good enough, you know? I don't know, because Kumanomi took out Hyo, who's probably one of the strongest. So, I don't know what I don't know if Shishiba would be able to handle this on his own. He took on Yotsumura, he beat Yotsumura. So he's obviously one of the strongest, but I think he can't take on the three of them on his own. So at least one more person needs to show up to help him. And so the art in this chapter, beautiful as usual. Those last panels of Gaku, he's so baby sometimes. I love his design. So much is conveyed in his intense stares and facial expressions. In next chapter, he's gonna be fucking pissed, and I'm looking forward to it. And nice to see Nagumo a bit more disheveled than usual. We don't often see the members of the order like this, so, you know, it's different and it's interesting, and I'm scared for him in a way. I'm a little scared for Nagumo and his blinders with his revenge plan that he has on Izuki. I'm concerned of him not letting anything get in his way, you know? He's been so dedicated for so long. I don't hope he doesn't get desperate is what I'm saying. It just sets off like alarms for me. I get a little concerned. But anyways, that's pretty much my thoughts on the last two chapters. I hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, there's like 5 of you who read Sakamoto Days and watch me. So shout out to the like 5 of you. I hope you guys appreciate this. I know I'm late, but it's going to be a bi-weekly thing from now on. I'm going to make it minimal editing because I just want to get my thoughts out. And I'll put some like panels and stuff around when I'm talking. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. Really, this series is fantastic. It needs more attention. It really does. If I don't get copyright striked on this video, then I'll talk about it more and more. Okay, anyways, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about these chapters. And yes, have a good day. Bye-bye. See you on the next one. Haha. Bye-bye.